Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the North versus South FPL podcast featuring myself, Stay, and my co-host, Heath. Heath, how you doing, buddy?
Mate, I'm very, very good. How are you, buddy? How are you?
I won't grumble too much. I've recovered from the night out we had in Manchester, which we'll get onto as part of our quick chat in this one. But yeah, now things going all right, buddy. Yeah, won't complain too much. Fantasy team, I'll complain about that a lot in a bit, but don't you worry, plenty of time for that one. Although I expected what happened. So yeah, just to go through, I guess, what we got planned for you today. So we've got a Manchester review, which basically is me and Heath talking about our night out in Manchester on Saturday. Then we're going to go into our game week review, which we do every week, our shit list, North versus South mini league updates, there's North versus South predictions and results. And we've got our game week preview, and then we've got a little special feature at the end of tonight's show. Those might have seen it already. I post on Twitter, the Masters football, which returns, and we ask people to submit their sort of the team they support, their Masters side, and we'll have a little bit of a chat about some of those that came out. And there's quite a few which have been inputted. So yeah, quite a bit to get through as always. Hopefully we'll make it entertaining as always as well.
Yeah, 100%, mate, 100%. But let's crack on with the Manchester review. Basically, I was able to get an away ticket in the away end for the United versus Watford game. I was very fortunate that my good mate George and his dad Gary very, very kindly said that they would come to the game with me. I mean, George has a season ticket, so I would have expected him to go anyway. And State said that he'd be up for a beer after. Unfortunately, I couldn't get him a ticket in the away end because it does sell out fairly quickly still, even now, Watford fans, even though they're in a relegation fight and a little bit of dejection there at the moment with the fans. It's still very hard to get away tickets at United. So, yeah, I couldn't get stay tickets. So technically I could be on the shit list for that. But I think I made up for it with a fine night out. So, Stay, where did we go, mate? You remind us where we went.
Well, obviously, yeah, you went to Old Trafford. I went and played football actually on Saturday instead. So it was good. Obviously, came to see you, and we started off at a place called the Britain's Protection, which is an old man pub. So that's where I met you, Heathy, and George and Gary. And we also had two other tag alongs. My sister and her fella joined us for a short while because they were out in Manchester. They were going to see the Whalers. So they had a whale of a time. Oh, yes.
Hey.
Oh, they. But yeah, so we had a few beers there, which were good. We had a good chit chat. George, legend George, shout out to you, pal. All right. And don't you worry. Although Heath might not have invited you to his wedding, I'll invite you to my wedding in his place. So don't you worry, pal. All right. So I've got your back, mate. Got your back. He's gonna like that, George, I tell you. But yeah. So now
he's got more chance of inviting Gary to the wedding after the banter that Gary was providing the other day. But nothing back from George.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But now we ended up being in there. So like on 9 o'clock, I think, to be fair. So then we got you checked in at the hotel. You needed to freshen up, do something with your hair because your hair was awful. It was like fluffy as hell, man. Never seen that bad before.
Hat hair.
Then we went to the lanes near sort of Outlet Sauce and Cuba the Revolution. We went to the lanes, a few beers, played some shuffleboard, and well, the Northerner won the shuffleboard 2-1.
But I had him ruffled. This guy thought he was a shuffleboard pro. And I'll tell you what, in the third set, when I was kicking his ass, he was looking pretty nervous. He had to bring some magic out to get back on track and win that third set.
Then you bottled it. You did what Watford do in the Premier League, and you altered.
I guess when last time we got relegated, they did exactly that. They started terribly, they got better, they started doing quite interesting things, and then they got relegated. So yeah, that was how my shuffleboard experience went. I said to say that I genuinely get worse when I drink, when I play shuffleboard. I lose concentration and I lose interest, which is pretty much what happened. But I sent him into a false sense of security by being so bad in the first set that he did not know what was hitting him in the second set.
First set was just terrible. I think you had about 4 points on the board to my 20, and that's as high as the scoreboard went. So you see, so it was it was bad for Heath. I'll say that. But yeah, he did come back. He won the second game. think about 20 points to like 15. And then third game, he took a 12-3 lead, and then he didn't score another point basically after that. He obviously had started peaking on the booze, and that had taken over. Although we were drinking the exact same amount, so I do question, maybe it's just his capabilities of handling the booze. Who knows?
It could be, but I do think that I did have a little bit of sympathy for you, because I could see how much it meant to you. You were you were getting a little bit, and I was thinking to myself, do you know what? It's not worth it. I want to have a good night with this guy tonight. I don't want him sulking all night.
You believe what you want to believe, buddy. I don't mind that.
We are gentlemen. We're gentlemen down south.
That's it. Well, I could say something different, but I won't right now. But yeah, after that, we did something really sensible. We were hungry, and was like, let's go get something to eat. Otherwise, we may start just getting into a really bad state of affairs. So we went and got a Macca's. We went and had the eating's cheating, but we're a bit older than like what we used to be. So we went and had a cheeky Macca's, went back out, ended up in Peaky Blinders, and we stayed in Peaky Blinders for a while, to be fair. And we had quite a good night. We went there dancing, some shots went down. We even actually got a new fan at Peaky Blinders bar, because I don't know if Heath remembers this, but Heath actually started talking to this lad while I was getting served.
Was he the one who looked a bit like Pep? Was he?
Yeah,
bald chap. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he was wearing a tracksuit and stuff.
Yeah, lad called Dylan. I called Dylan.
Yeah. This sounds really dodgy, by the way. I didn't buy drugs off him, I swear.
No.
He just gave them for free.
I come back with the drinks, and then like Dylan's on about, goes, Heath goes, this is my mate who would do the podcast, and he was like, well, sort of into it. I mean, I don't know how drunk he might have been, so he might have just been humouring us, but he gave me his number and told me to message him the link to the podcast, and he said he'll start listening to it. So if you're out there, Dylan, hopefully you're listening, and there's a shout out for you, pal, as well. So yeah, we met him in Peaky Blinders, and then we just started getting worse and worse on the dance floor. I think after that we had some shots. I mean, Heath got passed a shot of tequila from this bird who was trying to get out of doing the shot of tequila. She offered it me, and I would have been sick straight away. So I just gave it Heath. He didn't even ask a question. Down his lug hole, and it was gone. And I just went, oh well, Heath, you were very trusting. And he's like, what? I went, I didn't buy that. And he went, really? I went, oh, that bird didn't want to have him. So she was like, cheers for that fella, and you just like didn't have a clue what had gone on really. Went back to dancing and stuff. So yeah, I think we were in Peaky Blinders until like nearly 3 o'clock in the morning, and then we somehow wandered back to the hotel and didn't get lost. And then Heapy fell asleep, fully clothed, with his big coat on the bed. I went to have a piss, came back, and he was scattered across the bed, fully clothed and out there. And I didn't even bother trying to move him. I just he'd left a little gap on the side of the bed for me. I just got onto that, and I just fell asleep. And I woke up at 7. Heath was in the exact same position. I checked his pulse. I just made sure he was still living. He was. If he wasn't, I wouldn't have done it. I just probably left him there and just gone. It was a good friendship. Thank you. But yeah, I do remember that he did eventually get home. So there you go.
And the Scotch eggs were never eaten, were they? They were just chucked in the bin.
Yeah.
Some Scotch eggs that I forgot to eat en route to Manchester. Big fuckers as well, big guys. And they both went in the bin just because neither of us fancied them.
No, they didn't get so yeah, but it was it was a good night, to be fair. We had a good catch up, and a little bit of a sore head the next day, but I think can't complain. Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, from my point of view, the only thing I remember was, watching the game, the final whistle, celebrating like we won the FA Cup, and then that was it. The rest of the night is a blur. No, it was great. It was really good. I think we met a few people, and the one thing is as a southerner going up north, you're always kind of a bit wary if you're going to go down well or badly with people. And to be fair, the thing about the north, they're very friendly people, and they don't seem to give a shit really. They just if they're in a good place and you're in a good place, you just have a chat and you get on with it. No one seems to. There doesn't seem to be a bad spirit up there. The only thing I noticed, which was crazy, and I don't often see it in London as much, like probably post-COVID, but slightly before COVID as well, is the queues outside these bars. Like they were bar/clubs, but the queues were incredible.
Oh, they were.
And honestly, State said to me about going to the Albert Slosh, and he was like, "Oh, Heath, you fancy it?" And I was like, "Is that the one with the queue?" He went, "Yeah." I said, "Maybe we are not queuing for anything tonight.
Yeah,
Take me somewhere we can just walk straight in. I don't care if we had to pay to get in, but I'm not queuing anywhere in that freezing cold. No chance." It was good fun, and State, although he did look a little bit like he said to me. He said before he'd take me out on a night out in Manchester, and then halfway through, when we were walking back from McDonald's, I had a feeling he didn't quite know where we were going.
Well, I knew where we were going, but I didn't say that I'm a Manchester professional when it comes to like going out in Manchester. I'm not. I know areas where there's bars, but
we didn't end up in Deansgate, mate. So that is a winner for me. I think you did.
We didn't.
You did a good job, mate. If there was a hit list, you'd be on my hit list this week for taking control and giving us a night out. It was good. It was good fun.
I'm glad to hear it. So no, good times. So yeah, and we had a good night out at the weekend. So, but did we have a good weekend in terms of FPL, in terms of the game week review? I know I didn't have a good week, but it's not me to start it. But Heath, how did your week go?
It was a good week. I feel like I was up against no one this week because I feel like you wrote this week off, which actually might have been not a bad idea because of what happened with Tottenham. So I'm going to go through my team quickly. So I got 61 points. Emi Martinez got a clean sheet, got a booking. So he got 5 points. I did have Ben Foster on the bench, but let's be honest, would you really have put Ben Foster down for a clean sheet at Old Trafford? First time, I think, since the mid 80s, maybe 1985 or something, that we've actually got a result at Old Trafford. So clean sheet, no chance. So he was on my bench, but he got 10 points. So I would have doubled my points if I'd have gone with him. But let's not get greedy. So Walker Peters, brilliant, great way to start the weekend. He got a clean sheet, but he got 3 bonus points. So he got 9 points. Luca Dean back on the points again. Nice clean sheet away at Brighton. On massive contrast for Mark Cucurella, had a stinker really, conceded twice, got a yellow card, got me 0 points.
Nil
point. Then we move on to the midfield. Wilfried Zaha, he's not playing against Watford this week, so just the 2 points. Coutinho, I mean, he looked lively, had a good free kick, but only the 3 points, still in a winning team, so that's good. Same with Bowen. Jared Bowen had a great chance at the end, just the 3 points for him. And then my captain, I mean, I didn't make the best decision, but I made a good decision by going with Heung-min Son. He got me 18 points with his captaincy. So, fantastic goal. I mean, Harry Kane, fantastic pass. Son takes it down, just makes it look so easy. And you just think you can do that, against against Leeds away, but you can't go and beat Middlesbrough in the cup the next game. Ridiculous. But that is Spurs at the moment. They are very, very up and down. So in a weird way, they're quite dangerous. In also a bad way in FPL. You want consistency and they're not offering that. So anyway, in the head-to-head, hopefully it'll work for me. But yeah, my 2 Watford lads, the 2 Watford strikers didn't work out for me. Obviously, neither of them scored. And to be brutally honest, neither of them played particularly well. Josh King looks like he's a bit slower. I think he's having back issues. He got 2 points. And Emmanuel Dennis, he had a chance, but to be honest, it was quite soft and he didn't really cause United too many issues. So just the 2 points. But I think I'd be happy with Dennis going forward. They do look lively, Watford. I think they will score goals, maybe not as many as they would have done pre-Woy, but I still think they'll score some goals. And then Harry Kane back on the points, leads away, got goal and assist, 2 bonus, but the fact basically 11 points. But the fact is that the guy was an absolute superstar, a superstar playing holding midfield. It felt like, but he took his goal very well. And it was great. It was a great assist. Probably one of the best assists you're going to see, really, in the Premier League. And then my bench, my bench was Saka, Rudiger, and Tierney. None of them played. So
yeah, you can't grumble about that. To be
well,
honest,
especially when my transfer was Walker Peters in for White, for Ben White. So that's always a nice feeling when you make your transfer and it instantly pays off. But we probably should mention our transfers on here because people can probably have a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, we can do that in a minute, so it's fine.
Well, yeah, all right. Well, I better leave it to you, mate, because there's quite a few of them, right?
Yeah. So we'll start with that. First of all, I made 5 game week transfers this week because with this team, it is about the head to head for me and Heath. That's what matters. Yeah, obviously doing all right in the North and South leagues, but my overall score is miles better than Heath still, and I think he'll struggle to catch me on that if it gets down to it. It's the head to head, but I figured I was gonna take a hit this week because I had a number of people in my squad who weren't going to be playing due to mixture of injuries, players not having games, bit of form going off as well. So I made 5 transfers. So I brought Nick Pope in for Allison, Mahrez in for McTominay, Weghorst for Richarlison, Gordon for Harrison, and Pookie in for Idar because Idar's out for a long time. So those were my transfers. So big thing. I know I said I wouldn't do something like this, but I'm thinking head to head's more important really now. That's what really matters. That's the holy grail here. So that's what I've got to go for. So yeah, I got 37 points finally in the head to head. That gets deleted down to 21 points there, obviously, with the 5 transfers, a 16-point hit. But I've done it because I'm in a better place for the next few game weeks anyway. But yeah, my team, I captained Nick Pope for a reason. I was hoping he'd get me at least 1 clean sheet. He didn't manage to get a clean sheet. He didn't manage to get any bonus points. He got the odd save point, I believe, but yeah, no clean sheets from him, which was very disappointing. So he got me 10 points. My rest of my team, Cancelo 9 points, so that was good. Cody 2 points, Kilman 2 points. Wolves not getting a clean sheet.
Hey, you jinxed them. You jinxed the
I
Wolves.
know I've killed them now. Yeah, Williams for Norwich 0 points. He played a full 90, but obviously they conceded 2 goals. He got a yellow card as well. Midfield, City didn't really do much. I brought Mahrez in hoping he would, do something, but he didn't even start the game. He was on the bench yet again. Thought he was nailed on to start that, to be fair, but that didn't work out. The pet roulette cost me there. Anthony Gordon, 3 points. He actually had a decent game for Everton. Frank seems to be, liking him. He's started the last number of games. He's been starting really for Everton against Newcastle, Leeds, Southampton, City. So the last 4 games he has started. De Bruyne, just 3 points for City, got the clean sheet bonus, but no assist, no goal. Cornet, well, he didn't play the first game against Palace because he'd picked up a knock against Brighton, didn't get any points. And then against Leicester, he had a goal disallowed for offside. It was very tight, but I suppose laws of the game, he was offside. So he only got me 3 points. Then up top, everyone will have had a disappointing game week because a lot of people made him captain, and that was Weghorst, obviously. Probably. If they had him, they were captaining him. He only got 3 points across 2 games. No goals, no assists. Played lots of 90 minutes. Got a booking. So just 3. And then Timu Puke got me 1 point for his 90 minutes of nothing against Southampton. He got booked as well. So well done for you, Timu. And then my bench, McGovern didn't play, St. Maximin injured, and then Salah and Alexander, they stayed on my bench because I wasn't getting rid of them and they weren't playing. So a bad week for me, but it was an expected bad week, and that's why I sort of took the hit in terms of doing some transfers to get my team into a position where I'm going to be looking forward to the next few game weeks. Hopefully, there's a double game week now for somebody for the next. I think it's at least the next 2 weeks. And then there's going to be some more coming in as well after that, I'm sure. So the next couple of weeks, we've got double game weeks for a number of sides. So it'll be interesting to see how that all goes, really. So, yeah.
I completely understand. That's why I'm not that excited about this week. I know it's worked out for me, but the moment I saw your minus 16, I kind of, was it? Yeah, minus 16. I straight away I thought, wow, he's handed this to me on a plate, really. I mean, I did say to you about the Burnley situation. You did triple up on Burnley, and realistically, like any other week, they probably get you points. Weghurst had a goal disallowed for offside, which was rightfully again offside, but that is one of those things. He looked sharp, took his chance well, and obviously so did Corday. But again, that's one of those things that where you just have to accept it, and unfortunately, and Pope was well and truly on for big points against Leicester until obviously they conceded.
They scored, until they decided to bring Maddison and Vardy on. So that changed things for them big time. Seeing Vardy back, and I'm sure he'll get discussed at some point in this podcast. Leicester not starting there. I mean, Vardy's not been missed much this season because he has, because they've not been doing as well. But he's not been playing much, whereas Maddison's been the main guy for a while, and he's not started the last two games, but they bring him on against Burnley at 0-0. He scores a goal, he's, straight away in the action. And Vardy, obviously coming back from injury, if he could stay fit, he could finish the season strongly for him, because he's, started the season really well, did Vardy. Everyone thinks, he's past it, but he scored 7 goals in the first sort of 8-9 game weeks. So it was, they scored a few more, but then you've got to realise since game week 14, he's only started 1 game, and he had a game against Villa where he got injured. Then he didn't play for a few. Then he played a full game against Liverpool. Then he didn't play because he was injured, and he's been out for 5 games, and that was his first minutes. That was since I think of pretty much of the new year, really. So it was big for Vardy to get back, and I'm sure it'll be a huge lift for Leicester as well moving forward.
Well, I think I probably speak for everyone listening at the moment when I say that it's probably a good idea to move straight on to the shit list. Now, if you're listening for the first time, the shit list is a maximum of 5 people, players, officials, us, managers, weather, football, VAR, it could be anything, but 5 things of such. And we're just going to have a bit of a moan. That's what it is. So, State, come on, mate. Let's have it.
VAR and referee, first up, straight away. Everton Man City is the story. A handball and then a fucking apology. Whoop-de-fucking do. Well done.
I knew you were going to say this, right? Not maybe for the shit list, but I knew you were going to bring this up, right? Just had a feeling. Wasn't Richarlison offside? I don't know, because I haven't seen the line or anything like that.
That's not what's been mentioned anyway so far. And
I know they have apologized, so I assume he technically wasn't offside.
So, and I'm like, great, brilliant, make an apology. How the fuck does that help Everton, who are at the moment in a relegation battle, and whether you believe they're going to stay in that battle or not is beside the point right now. Now, they get a penalty there, they get the goal. I know it could still change the game again, but if that game ends 1-1, right, Everton have another point. They're on 23 points. They're above Leeds on goal difference all of a sudden with a couple of games in hand, right? Man City get that point, right? They could win the title now by 1 point, and that's the point that was gifted to them by a shitty decision, which could cost Liverpool the title now because of it. Liverpool fans have probably already been saying how, City getting a look at draw with VAR or something. Anyway, they don't need an excuse to moan about something. But those are the little things that could make a real difference. City get 3 points and got the 3 points instead of maybe getting 1. And, if they'd only got 1 point, they'd have been 4 points clear of Liverpool with a game in hand, with Liverpool having a game in hand. So Liverpool win the game in hand, they're 1 point behind. Liverpool then beat City, they go in front of them. Right now, Liverpool need to win the game in hand and beat City to level on points. They've got a better goal difference at the moment, which is in their favour. But it's, it's apologising just doesn't make up for the fact that it was the wrong decision. And it's not like it was a close run thing, where you could be umming and ahhing and you could maybe see a slight point why, VAR didn't sort of pick up on it, or, why did the referee not go see the screen and think, why did he think, that will happen? It just didn't happen. Nothing happened. And you're like, how can it not? So, like I said, apologising, great, we got it wrong. But I tell you what, that doesn't make Frank Lampard feel much better about it, I'm sure. I think it, at the end of the day, I didn't think I didn't watch the game live, but from the highlights, I didn't think Everton did that badly. They weren't. City are obviously City. They always have a lot of the ball, but Everton, showed. I don't think Everton are going to go down. I think they'll be fine. To be honest with you, they'll win. They'll win home games. They'll work. They might struggle away from home, which they've already been doing, but I think they'll be all right. And then Lampard will have next season then to really start make a difference. I think Everton aren't shy of putting the money in front of managers and spending, so he'll have a chance to bring in some players that he maybe wants to bring in as well, and we'll see. But I just don't see how the apology just really pissed me off, and people saying, "Oh, people come out and apologise." No, that's not what I saw. I saw that they were absolutely mugged off big time, and the apology just really that's like throwing salt onto a bloody massive flesh wound and just let's rub it in to just make a bit more pain. That does for me. I'd rather them come out and not say fuck all about it.
This is the first time I've heard a referee or the head of the referees, whatever, come out and apologize on any decision. And to be honest, there's been a lot worse decisions than that. You don't want to hear an apology. What you want is an understanding of what's gone wrong there. Why did that not go to VAR? And if it did go to VAR, why was it not going to be given? Was it that they thought there was an offside? That's why they never even went to VAR? Or is there something else there? The fact is you need an explanation. Like after a game, a footballer that plays poorly, the interviewer says, "Oh, what happened today?" It goes to the manager. What happened to your team today? Why were you so poor today? Like these players, these managers have to stand up in front of the media and explain themselves. And yet the referees, who are also professionals, they're doing a job. They're not doing it for free. They're getting paid to do this. I know it's not easy. I'm not suggesting it is. But they could explain some of the decisions. Not every decision, but just the ones that go terribly wrong. And by the looks of it, this one went terribly wrong. The fact that apology is not going to do anything, but an explanation, an understanding, something that kind of gives them a way of people understanding, the human beings, they make mistakes. Even the people in the VAR room, they're allowed to make mistakes. But it's what happened, explanation, and then how can you prove to us as an audience that this isn't going to happen again? Because the whole thing was that we used to give referees leeway because they had decisions to make in very, very quick timings. And the fact is we allowed that. We accepted that because some of us maybe had refereed and amateur football and stuff. It's not easy at all. But when you've got TV screens there, there's no excuses. But we still know that there will be mistakes, but explanations should be offered. And I don't know if it's ever been talked about, but in rugby, it seems to work. There is a lot less, there are decisions that go wrong, but you hear it a lot less in rugby than you hear it in football. It's not often that a game is decided by a bad decision that's, kind of gone to the big screen, because the referee's talking everyone through it. So you can get an understanding what the referee's thinking. If he's got it wrong, you're hearing he's getting it wrong. But the thing is that the referees earn their respect because they talk a lot of sense to the players during the game. And I think that the referees, the football referees, I think if they could do something like that, it could change a lot of things. Especially, maybe they'd have to censor it. I don't know. But the fact is that when it comes down to it, there's a real lack of respect all the way through the game for referees and officials in general. That needs to change. But the fact is that really don't help themselves when they make decisions like that and then come out and apologize. That won't mean anything to anyone. In fact, I don't know about you, but I'm sitting here thinking, why did Everton get an apology? There've been so many poor decisions over the season and previous seasons. Why has there not been any more apologies? Is that what's going to happen now when the bad decision happens? But that was a stinker.
It was terrible. So they're number one on the shit list. A club on the shit list, Leeds United. They're on the shit list. For sacking Bielsa and bringing in a new manager. Bielsa was getting them into a point where they were looking like with the third team to go down with Watford and Norwich, refusing to change tactics, sinking like the Titanic, basically, letting in water like that. That's all it tells. Leeds fans are there, like, going crying, thousands supposedly outside Ellen Road with candles, like you'd passed away or something like that. Don't get me wrong. Bielsa did a great job for Leeds, got them back to the promised land, and last season they were fantastic to watch, entertaining. But this year they've been found out. Okay, yeah, they've had injuries, but they had injuries before January and still decided not to go out there and do it because Bielsa was stubborn and too stubborn to sort of change his ways. He went to Anfield and tried sort of matching them. You're not going to match a team like Liverpool who've got that many better players than you in every single position. I don't think that Leeds, even with a fully fit side, have anybody better in a single position than what Liverpool have. Calvin Phillips, he's quality and he's going to get better, but he ain't better than any of the three that Liverpool have in their midfield. Bamford's definitely not better than the three up front. If he were there, so why, going like for like, why would you do that? What does someone like Watford do? Like with a manager like Roy Hodgson. Okay, Roy Hodgson knows how to go away from home and try and keep it tight and do something to try and get something from the game. And he did that at Old Trafford this weekend, right? Leeds against United the other week, 4-2 defeat. And they were lucky to make it 4-2, let's be honest, because they had 25 seconds of, where they got a couple of goals. They played all right. But again, United had always looked like they were going to score 3, 4, 5 goals that game. And then, Spurs again. Leeds did start all right against Spurs, but they're just so open at the back. So yeah, other teams don't mind the fact Leeds can start right because they're pretty confident they're going to get 5, 6, 7 gilt edge chances and they'll back themselves to take 2 or 3 of them and that'll be enough to get you the win. So Leeds are on the shit list for sacking Bielsa because it'd be great to see them get relegated just for this pain it'll cause some Leeds fans and just see them fall from grace from last season and everything and then just all of a sudden be like back down in Championship, playing Rotherham United next season. Yeah, you might beat us, but who cares? You'll still be at the same level. So screw you then. So yeah, Leeds shit list for that reason. Pep Guardiola next. Not starting Mahrez. He didn't start him against Spurs. Why not? Don't know. He came on against Spurs and scored though. Why isn't he starting against Everton then? It's the game for him. Get him started. Play him. Play Foden and Sterling as your front three or something. Do something like that. But yes, the Pep Roulette. I mean, it's my own fault. Everyone knows about Pep Roulette, but I think there was a lot of people who put Mahrez in the side for that weekend. I think they were all thinking he were going to get the game. So that's 3. Burnley, your entire squad's on there. No clean sheets. Very little in terms of goals or anything, and everyone was doubling up on players on Burnley. With the double game week, and it backfired. So maybe it's the manager's our fault, but if not, let's blame the team not performing well enough there. Yeah, granted they had a couple of goals disallowed, but it's still not good enough. Not good enough. So they're on there as well. And then finally, here's myself. 5 substitutes is just ridiculous. Even if you're losing game week. Even if you planning on losing a game week and you're doing it to make things better, which I have, but 5 substitutes, come on. It's not right. It's not clever. It's not something you want to be doing. Anyone listening to this podcast and has done 5 substitutes for, which I'm sure there's plenty out there who have done it, all right, and taking the points here. But do not follow this route, all right? If you can help it, don't do it. If you're thinking about doing it, stop thinking about doing it, Don't do it, okay? Don't even think about doing it. Don't even think about thinking about doing it. Do not do it. So there you go. There's your shit list from me.
Well, I'm glad you're on there, but I think you could be on there for multiple reasons. For the
Pep but that's your decision. This next one, all right?
True. But the Pep Roulette, Pep's been on the shit list. Literally, I swear, every week you've lost. Like any week you've lost, Pep gets it in the neck because he makes the same decision he makes every week, which is be unpredictable with his team choices. Yeah, mate. There's going to have to be a week where you have to kind of go, do you know what, Pep? I get it now. Stay away from your attacking players. Or just pick Phil Foden because he's looking pretty good at the moment, to be fair.
Yeah, Foden is looking good now.
Did you see his pass for the Grealish goal last night?
Ah, yeah.
Again, unbelievable. Like like the Kane one, really.
Foden's an absolute quality player. There's no doubt about it. And he's had a few niggles and injuries, been out a couple of times, and had some issues there. But mean, he started the last six games, I think, now for City in the league. I think he's starting to prove himself as one of those close to undroppable players. I know there's no such thing at City, but I think Pep knows that he's the one to be playing. He's the one who needs to be there. He can do different things for them. He can play in different positions as well, which helps. So yeah, now Foden's a great shout at the moment for people. He'll be definitely increasing in terms of the team selected by percentage. I would expect over the coming weeks. I mean, the only thing I suppose with City is they're not got any double game weeks, so no one's going to sort of go big, but they are playing every week, and most games City play they're all against number 2 teams, because everyone compared to City is pretty much a number 2 team, barring the top sides.
No, agreed, mate. Well, I'll give you my shit list, and it won't be very long, as you can imagine, but I'll start on my shit list with Leeds United. Now, Leeds United are on there because I bloody love Bielsa. And I had a candle burning in my window when he got sacked. That guy was brilliant. Now, I genuinely, it's not that often that you look forward to watching a random team, especially a team that most people haven't liked for many years. The fact is that the way that Bielsa played football, the way that Leeds played football, it was absolutely brilliant. I'm gutted that he's been sacked. And I honestly, I can see it a mile off, where if we get relegated, then Mr. Pozzo, please call up Marcelo Bielsa and get him at Vicarage Road, because I don't care if we concede 5 1 week and score 5 the next. That football, you just want to watch that. That's just fantastic football. We had it with Zola back in the day. Zola played this wide open football. It was absolutely brilliant for a season. It's easily the best season I've ever seen. We didn't even get promoted that year. We got to the playoff final and lost to Crystal Palace. Wilfried Zaha penalty. Dive. But no, it was a penalty, to be fair. But yeah, so Leeds United are on the shit list for sacking Bielsa, because I already miss him and I loved it. I'm gutted. I do think that, although I know what you're saying, I agree with you that they're naive. They still did get some massive results last season again. Like, they beat Man City away from home. That was unbelievable. And they definitely weren't the player for player better than Man City. They found a way. They had that team spirit last year. They just don't have it this year, unfortunately. They haven't. You're right. They haven't evolved their squad. They haven't evolved their team. They haven't really pushed themselves into a position. They could have gone for Europe this year with the Leeds fans and some of the talented players they had from last year that could have progressed into. But it is what it is. Anyway, next on the shit list. And I tell you what, the shit list could be named after this guy, because it's, I think, the 3rd or 4th time he's been on there. Michael Keane.
Yeah, he did.
Michael Keane. That mistake for Foden's goal.
Then was Holgate a bit involved in that as well?
Yeah, no, it did. So okay, but if you haven't seen the goal, ball comes across, Holgate sticks out a foot and wrong foots Michael Keane. But you have got to see what Michael Keane does to stop that ball. And someone pointed out to us, I think it might have been someone during, I can't remember, after the game, or someone mentioned it after the game, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it was a very odd thing that happened. He was wrong-footed, and then he went to kick the ball, but he couldn't get near it, and he's basically either got his studs caught in the ground or something, but he looks awful. Basically, it looks awful. He's made some shocking decisions this season, made some bad mistakes, and he is much better than that. It's so easy for people to jump on these players and go, he's shit, he's rubbish. He's not shit, he's just having a bad season, he's out of form. It's simple as that. It's like Harry Maguire, he's out of form for United. He's certainly not shit. He's a good football player. He's just having a bad time,
Yeah.
But yeah, so this could potentially become the Michael Keane list, maybe. I don't know how you think about that, mate.
Could be good. Yeah.
Sponsored by our player of the season so far. So
yeah,
the last, well, I say person, but this is a company on the shit list, is a company, an insurance company called Pension B. Now, the reason why they're on there, and you'll be like, oh, I've never heard of Pension B. Well, that's because if you go on YouTube and you watch any of our videos on YouTube, then I swear this advert is following me about because it's winding me up hearing it, right? What theme tune is Pension B using right now? What theme tune do you think, State?
I'm going to guess it's our theme tune.
It is our theme tune. And do you know what, Pension B? You can do one. I can't get you on copyright because I stole it myself, right? And it's a lovely theme tune, whoever made it. But I cannot believe that it literally, I've never heard this song before. I stole it for ours. I mean, I didn't steal it. I was able to use it. You know, it wasn't copyrighted. And then literally never heard this song before in my life. And bang, Pension B have used it. Fortunately, it's not as prevalent as ours is. But yeah, not happy with them at all. I'll have a word and see if I can get them to change it to something a bit better.
Like it. Like your style. Like it a lot.
But that's my shit list. There's not a lot going on, to be honest.
Good shit list, Heath. Takes us on to our mini league updates. So, Heath, any big moves in the mini league this week? I believe we've got February of the month competition, so you need to announce the winner of the Feb of the month as well. So you can do that at the end, but see how the game week's gone for people first, I guess.
Sam Diamond, still bottom of the league, quite far off El Badger Poopers and the United Division.org. There's a nice little rivalry between Eddie Moran and Harrison Copley. So King of the South and Ned Stark's my dad. But Ned Stark's my dad is still just above the relegation zone. And Eddie is still king of the South, or king in the South. Then we've got Pavlos Lossi with a big 71 points. I think he was the highest scorer of the week. He went and did a free hit. He got Kane as captain. He had
all 17.
Son, Son. He had Dyer, Cresswell, Dean, Antonio got an assist, Watkins goal, even had Raya in goal for Brentford with 4 points. So he had a really good week. I mean, he played his free hit, but still it worked out a treat because he got 71 points. Then we have, well, looking at it going up the league, Gin Every Stinker, 29 points. Livermento did well. Cornet captain. Yeah, let's just just not a good week for Gin. Then
that's the sort of week where you don't want to be called out, you know.
Exactly. Then, I mean, I would mention myself, but I'm not going to. So Sean Convey, 66 points. That's one of the highest scores. Wow. Daniel R. Marty, clean sheet and 2 bonus. And Cancelo, he had Foden. He's gone with Kane captain. I know he's a big Arsenal fan, so I bet he enjoyed that one. And De Gea in goal with a clean sheet against the mighty Watford. Then we're going further up the league. Oh, it's very, very tight at the top. I mean, it's not tight as in there's a big difference between first and second, but there's a nice little kind of rivalry going between John Rogerson, Ian Anthony Helliwell, Mike Matthews, and Leone Cameron. It looks
Connor, don't forget Connor as well.
Connor Tobin as well. Yeah.
Tobin, Newcastle lad.
Yeah.
Who has no Newcastle players in his squad.
I think he's permanently excited at the moment in more ways than one because of the way that the Geordies are steamrolling the league.
He's liking it on the WhatsApp group, on the pie chart WhatsApp group. He's good for Newcastle information as well. Though. He's pretty spot on with knowing like when St. Maximin's going to be back and stuff like that. So you know, he's
question for Connor. Can Newcastle make it into Europe this season?
No.
Okay.
Unless they win the Fair Play Award, they've got no chance.
I don't know.
They're not in cups, are they still? So, you know, no chance.
Connor, ignore that. Okay. So, yeah, basically we've got a clear leader at the moment. Kevin Bernard, Crucible FC. He got 58 points this week. Not a great week. He had Walker Peters with 9. He took three transfers, so -8. But he had Son as captain, so he did well with captaincy. But he had Walker Peters, Cancelo, and that was Watkins got a goal, but that was about it. But I think he probably knew he was struggling to get a full team out there, so obviously he's played a -8 there. But Son as captain was a good shout. Ultimately, I don't think he'd be too disappointed because the guys below him didn't really push on too much. So we move on to the February manager of the month, and well, it would have made Connor's month if he could have got number 1, but he's number 3. He's third on the list with 330 points. That's obviously a very good score. John Rogerson, I'm sorry, John, but with Betty Swallocks FC, ever since this new bunch of guys have come into the league, it feels like we're talking about you less and less, unfortunately, John. But you were very, very close. 2 points off the top, 335. But number 1, he's had a fantastic month. Michael Matthews with MM, 337 points.
He's a North versus South League original as well, so we like that. An original has won the manager of the month. Not that we dislike the new people coming in, but we'd prefer to see the originals for this season win these things at the moment.
Definitely. He did well this week because I personally know Mike, and the fact is that he didn't change his team this week, so it could have been a different story. Kane as captain, Son with 9 points. I mean, I don't think he would have taken him out of his team, but maybe we could have seen the captaincy on Weghorst. Who knows? Might have even gone for 8 Peters. I know he's a bit of a cowboy, Mike, but
I mean, he only had 9 players played, didn't he? So it's not done bad to get 54 points off 9 players. I mean, Ben Foster got him his 10, like you said. Not many would have done that, but now he's looking set because he's got 2 transfers for next game week.
Definitely, mate. And it's an absolute joy to see how much work you all putting into your teams, apart from the guys on the bottom. But yeah, it's fantastic to see, and may it continue for the rest of the season. Stick with it. I know it's not easy, but there's going to be a lot of doubles coming up, maybe some triples, who knows? So just stick with it, and yeah, stick with us. So yeah, you'll get a shout out for sure. If you haven't had a shout out, let us know, because I'm pretty sure we've mentioned everyone in the league more than once. All right, if we haven't, have a go at us. Give us some shit.
It's Heath's fault if we haven't.
Most likely.
You're welcome.
Okay, yeah. So now we move on to our North versus South predictions / results. So if you've not heard this podcast before, this is all about the Northern teams versus the Southern teams. Had a little bit more this week with the double for the League Cup. But yeah, State, how do we get on? What's the situation, mate?
Well, situation. I'm reviewing the situation from Oliver Twist. There's my film quote for the week. So there you go. No one will get that. It's an old-fashioned one, but never mind. So in terms of what we did, so Southampton, Norwich, we both got home wins for that. So 1 point each. Leeds, Spurs. I went for the away. Heath went for the draw. So State gets that one. 2-1 up. Brentford, Newcastle. I went for the draw. Heath went for the away. So back to all square 2-2. Palace, Burnley. Heath draw. State went for the home win. Yeah, it was a draw. I should have gone for that. So Heath bang on again. 3-2. Man U, Watford. None of us got that right. Both went for the homes. West Ham, Wolves. Heath draw, State home. So it was a draw. It was a home win. So we were all tied going into Chelsea, Liverpool. And basically we went this, in his own way. So I put Chelsea as the home team, Liverpool as the away team. Heath went Liverpool. I went for Chelsea. So that, it'd be a thing. I did actually want to go for the draw, but we said who lifted the trophy.
Yeah. Did too.
So if it had gone for the draw, I would have won this. But Heath said it's who wins the trophy. So, which I had no problem with doing. So Heath went for Liverpool and got the win there. So he got the win slightly by default, but, fair play to him. He
the best 2 words in the English dictionary, default.
Yeah, default, yeah. So it was a good one. We got a lot right, and it wasn't just by following each other. We got some different ones right. We went against each other a few times and both got a few wins, but Heath, again, overall wins the week on the predictions. So well done again, Heath. Just a quick note on those penalties mean, I was really glad that Chelsea lost on the shootout because Kepa would just pissing me off. He would just try to play games. It didn't piss me off that they brought him on. That doesn't bother me. People saying, "Oh well, it's wrong." I went, "No, because they've done it before and it's worked for them. So fair play. Do it again." But I just thought his antics were just poor. The referee were constantly having to tell him, "Get onto your line quicker.
Should have
Stop
booked
being up
him.
here."
Should have booked
Yeah,
him.
I'd have fucking sent him off or kicked him in the nuts. To be fair, if I were a ref,
That would have been unprofessional with the second bit, but
well, yeah, but who cares? He deserved a slap, didn't he? The bugger.
he got what he
Um,
deserved, mate. He got what he
yeah, he
deserved.
did. But I think the best one was when he stood over for Van Dijk's penalty, and he was like over that corner, leaving him the big gap the other side. And Van Dijk still just blasted it in the corner where he was stood. And Van Dijk just looked at him as if to say, "There you go, dickhead. Try save that even when you're right next to it." And that was brilliant. That was a great moment. Because I just really loved that Van Dijk still went for the corner where the guy was stood. But yeah, it really pissed him off. And then his penalty. I mean, his penalty was just inexcusable. He might get signed up for the New York Jets maybe at the end of the season for taking field goals because he got some height on that bad boy. That'll travel.
Whenever it comes to a penalty shootout, I can't remember ever seeing goalkeepers like calmly side foot the ball into the net. They always seem to treat it like a goal kick. Yeah, always. I think there's been a handful of penalties over the years from goalkeepers. The one I remember was Birmingham Watford playoff semi-final where Kevin Paul hit his past Alec Chamberlain. And honestly, he hit it so hard, Chamberlain reacted about 2 minutes after it had gone past him. And Chamberlain was a good goalkeeper. It's just, and the fact is that even Kelleher did the same thing, right? He just smashed it. I mean, it was a good penalty, but he still just put his laces through it.
Yeah. And like I said, Kepa was trying to do the same thing, just smash it, and just got way underneath it. I think I remember the Portuguese keeper who took a penalty against England in either the Euros or the World Cup and scored it, Ricardo, I think, something like that. He drilled his low into the bottom corner, so he kept under it. But he hit it probably as hard as he did a dead ball. But he just got his head over it and his knee over it, and he didn't lean back, and that was.
But the thing with him though, didn't he take his was like the 5th or 6th? It wasn't like it got down to the 11th. That's what I'm saying. Like, he probably was confident taking penalties. I don't know too much about Ricardo, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was a good football player back in the day and then just ended up being a goalkeeper because he's a crazy bastard.
There was the man, wasn't there, who Chilave for Paraguay, who took penalties and free kicks. Got more international goals than like Emil Heskey did. And that's no disrespect to Emil.
That is disrespectful to Bruno. What are you doing?
I don't mean to disrespect him because I thought Heskey was quality because Heskey did all the donkey work and Owen sort of profited from it. So Heskey's game for England.
He scored in your finest ever footballing moment, mate.
Yeah, I know he did. Like I said, I'm not disrespecting him. But
you are, mate.
I'm just saying how good Chilave was. To be fair, to do that. Chilave scored more international goals than a lot of England players, if truth be told. So so there you go. But anyway, but yeah, I see what you're saying about that. But yeah, it was good to see Kepa get beat, but just for his antics. Like I said, his antics were shit. So I wasn't happy.
And his antics. Let's be honest. I mean, we haven't really even mentioned it, but the couple of years before with Sarri, the League Cup final there as well. I mean that I've never. It's very rare you get that where you genuinely feel embarrassed for the people in professional sport, but that was extremely embarrassing. I liked Sarri. I thought he was good. He came across quite well, but that game, like Kepa just mugged him off royally, and you could see that Sarri was just like, I might as well just fucking walk out. What is the fucking point of me being here if that guy isn't even going to come off the pitch? I think he dealt with it poorly, Sarri, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, at Kepa, the fact is that I've never known anyone, away from a Sunday League football maybe, who have said no to coming off sub, but it is what it is. But yeah, he got his just desserts.
Yeah, definitely. But some great penalties in there from both teams. It was real high quality penalties. A lot of them.
Fabinho, right. That was the penalty,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that was just
Beautiful,
brilliant. Just like weird and just cool as you like. That's why he's been taking penalties when like Salah and Mane and that have been away for that reason. I'd keep him on him for that, but yeah. So on to this week's predictions. We've got a lot of games actually to cover with the double game weeks as well, Heath. So quite a good amount of North versus South ties. Some good ties to pick from. A couple of what people might think obvious, but then there's a couple that are probably quite difficult. So let's get cracking. Burnley, Chelsea, Heath. Who are you going for? You go first.
Yeah, away win, Southern win.
Yeah, I'm going for away win. I think Chelsea will have a good end to the season. They've got a good run of fixtures now. I think they'll do well. I think getting someone like Reece James back in, that'll add to them. I think they're starting to see Pulisic is looking good, Ziyech as well. If one of their two strikers could start scoring goals, they'd be really dangerous. But yeah, I think that's a good shout. Newcastle versus Brighton. My pick this one. Now, obviously, Newcastle been doing well recently. Brighton obviously not been on great form of late, have they? And and Newcastle have been. I'm gonna go with a home win there.
I'm going to apologise to Connor here, but I've got a feeling Brighton might get something here. They've been good away from home all season, so I'll go for a draw. I think Newcastle will be in a very good form, obviously, but I think Brighton will be able to do something. They'll have a lot of possession there. They'll get a result. So draw.
Yeah. Now this is a big game. Big game. Norwich Brentford. It is. I'm not even joking when I'm saying it's a big game because it bloody is. Norwich get a win.
Bloody
Norwich,
is.
Norwich need a win, right? And they can more than get it because Brentford are in terrible, terrible form. And, win for Norwich gets them right back in the mix to staying up. And it just pulls Brentford even deeper into the shit. It's a massive one for them both. The old 6-pointer sort of comment comes into play here. And who you fancying for this one, Heath?
If this was at Brentford, I would have gone for Norwich. But it's been played at Norwich, so I'm going to go for Brentford. I think that the fact that Norwich are at home, I think there'll be too much pressure. They'll be expected to get a result here. This will be a game that they have to get 3 points from. Too much pressure. They've not been on good form. I'm going to go Brentford. I know Brentford have gone on terrible form as well, but they'll go away from home, and they were down to 10 men pretty early on against Newcastle. It's no excuse really, but at the same time, it's pretty tough. But I think that they're going to get the 3 points. So Brentford going for a Southern win.
I'm going for a home team win. I think Norwich will beat Brentford. Brentford are just in terrible form, so I don't see how happening there for them. Wolves versus Palace, so it's me to go first. This is a tough one to call because Palace are doing all right at the moment. Again, I know they're only on 30 points, but they don't lose. I mean, they've drawn a lot this season, but obviously a great win, a good win at Watford. They seem to do well away from home, get goals and that. Wolves, they've lost the last two now after winning a couple in a row. So it's a difficult one. I'm gonna go for a draw on that one. To be fair,
Zaha is not playing Watford this week, so I'm going to go for a 1-0 Wolves win. No, I'll go for a home win and a finally a clean sheet. So make sure you got all your Wolves defenders in this week, mate.
Yeah, don't you worry about that. Don't you worry. Next game, Liverpool West Ham.
Ooh, difficult.
Is it really?
No, it's not.
Liverpool
win.
Yeah, I agree with that. Liverpool all the way. So yeah. Next one, Spurs Everton. Spurs being the side that they are at the moment, but Everton away from home are just really poor, and Spurs obviously just had their bad result against Middlesbrough, so they seem to be going good result, bad result, good result, bad result. So I'm going for the good result. So I reckon they'll win. Spurs win, home win.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate.
All right, another one. Then on to the midweek games. Southampton, Newcastle. Should be a good one. This Southampton in some really good form. They've won again tonight. Got to the FA Cup final, beat West Ham. Unlucky Bradders.
I think it will be a cagey affair. But I'm. Do you know what? I'll go I'll go with a Newcastle win, actually. I think, I'll go with a Newcastle win.
Right. I'm going to go with draw. I agree, occasionally fair. I think both teams to score, goal scoring draw. You like a score draw on the pools panel if you ever played that. Yeah, there you go. Right there. Good man. Wolves, Watford, home win.
I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw. So draw.
Yeah, I could see that happening as well.
Clean sheet,
Then,
double clean sheet for your three Wolves players.
Yeah, I'll take that. And then Leeds Villa. New manager syndrome for Leeds.
Do you know what? I'll go for a Villa win. Villa win.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there.
I really don't know much about. I know that this manager went to Leipzig and didn't do too well, but to get the job at Leipzig, you have to do all right. They normally hire up and coming good managers, so I'd imagine this guy has a fair bit. Granted, you and I probably should have done a bit of research about him before we started slagging him off earlier, but I would say that there could be a new manager bounce, but I don't know enough about him, so I'm going to go for the old original new manager bounce with Gerrard and Villa.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, good. Right, well, they're in. They're in for next game week. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games in the next game week to go. So we've got a good list there, and see what can happen. See if you can maintain your run of winning these predictions. Because
mate, you can screw your shuffleboard. Just give me predictions all day long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not done badly. Let's get on to the serious stuff. Let's talk about this coming game week. So your game week preview. We're on game week 28. We've got a whopping great big 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games in this game week. The teams with double headers are Southampton, Newcastle, Wolves, Watford, Leeds, and Villa. So 3 from the north, 3 from the south. Heath, what is the plan? Tell me the plan, Stan.
It's very tough, my plan, because I don't have many chips available. I've got a triple captain left, which I'm thinking I could use, but I'm not going to because there's no one who really stands out for me. The players that I wanted to get rid of are playing twice. And the players that aren't playing twice, I need them for next week. Or they're Rudiger, who he's been a season keeper for me. So I have quite a few difficult decisions because my bench currently has Foster's playing twice, Cucurella's playing Newcastle away, Zaha, well, he's not playing Watford, so he won't do anything, so that's not a problem. And Jared Bowen, he's playing Liverpool away. But I still think that he's had such a good season. I don't really want to have him on the bench, but he is where he is. So that apart from, I joke about Zaha. I still think Palace could get. I'm not going to say they're going to score because I said just a minute ago they're not, right? So I'm not going to contradict myself like that. But what I'm going to say is that Palace and Zaha haven't been afraid to go after teams home and away, have they? So who knows? No. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. But yeah, at the moment, my team is Martinez. It's got Southampton and Leeds. That looks like a nice couple of fixtures. Walker Peters playing Villa and Newcastle, another couple of good fixtures. Luca Din, both obviously like Martinez. Then Kieran Tierney's playing Watford away. Pre-Roy, I would have said that would have been easy 3 points. But now with Roy, who knows? But Arsenal got quite a good record against Watford, to be fair. I know that we've got results out of them every now and then, but they seem to just kind of turn up, get the 3 points, not play particularly well, but do enough to win a game. And we kind of walk away asking what if. But yeah, Kieran Tierney hasn't really been that great for me since I brought him in. So hopefully he can. Well, actually, I'll take a 2-pointer this week, if I'm being honest with you. Then I've got Rudiger playing Burnley away. I've got my eye on Reece James, obviously, because that guy can score big, but I'm going to give him one more week. Then I've got Saka. So obviously, he's been in good form and he's playing twice next week. My captaincy is currently on Heung-min Son. I know he's got one game, but it's against Everton. I don't know who else to give it to. Coutinho's not doing enough, so he's playing twice, but he's not doing enough really. Unless I went crazy and went for Martinez, hoping he gets saves and clean sheets and all sorts. But who knows? Or could go for Harry Kane. Who knows? It's very tough.
Goals. Yeah, tough calls. I think it could be a good game week, an interesting one. Where we've got it'll be both of us probably feeling like we could get some out of it, but also both probably thinking at the same time, well, am I doing the right thing here? Am I doing the right thing there? So yeah.
Well, I have before. I've still got a couple of players to play. I mean, I know they're easily forgettable, but I've still got Josh King and Emmanuel Dennis.
Well,
they're playing Arsenal and Wolves in this game week. Now, I'm pretty sure a hat-trick is incoming for one of them, if not both of them, at some point. So maybe it might be this week. Maybe a hat-trick for both of them. Let's not get too crazy, but maybe a hat-trick from both of them in each game or something like that. That would do nicely. So, or maybe a 0-0. Maybe I should bring in Foster.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be some points for him. And no, I think at the moment, I'm thinking I might stick the captaincy on Son or Kane and just see how I feel. I suppose I could go for Saka and hedge my bets, but I don't like doing that as much now. So yeah, that's my team. How about you, mate?
Well, so what I'm looking at, so I'm making my one free transfer. I'm bringing back in the goalkeeper, Jose Malheiro de Sa at Wolves. He's going in for Nick Pope. I think that's a quite a standard sort of choice there. They've got 2 home games, Wolves. They've got a strong defence. Yeah, they probably won't keep clean sheets, but home to Palace and Watford, I think they've got a chance of getting at least 1 clean sheet there. They've got a chance of getting 2, but I'd be disappointed if they don't get 1 clean sheet out of that one. Watford away from home, Roy gets them set up not to concede first of all, and I think that'll work well for Wolves because they'll keep the ball well as they always do, and they're pretty solid at the back as well. So hopefully that can do. So I'm bringing Sarr, he'll be in net. I've got Connor Cody still. I've got Kilman from Wolves. So I've got back 3 of Wolves. If Wolves keep 2 clean sheets this game week, things are good. That's for sure. It's not all my eggs in one basket because I've got other players who can score me points. But if Wolves have 2 clean sheets, then you're probably going to be you're needing something big then already. You are probably, I would imagine. Cancelo, home at Man United. People might think, he's starting for that game. Well, I captained him when he played away at Man United earlier in the season, and he got 14 points or 28 points for me. So he's in my side, obviously. Trent as well. Trent's backing because Liverpool got a game playing West Ham. Hopefully Trent will pick up some points there, get a goal or an assist or something. Clean sheet would be nice as well. West Ham aren't as free scoring as they were, to be fair, so that could happen. Midfield, Mahrez, I'm going to stick with him for another game week, so hopefully he might get a start. De Bruyne as well, he'll be there. And then also Anthony Gordon from Everton, and then Mo Salah back in the team, probably holding the captain's armband as well, I would expect. So yeah, that'll be happening. Then up top, I've got Timu Puke, home to Brentford, and we'll see if St. Maximin's fit, to be fair. He's got a 50% chance of playing, so that probably tells me, and given that Newcastle, the 2 games they've had without him, they've drawn 1 and won 1, I don't think they'll rush him back necessarily for the first game against Brighton. Maybe they might play him against Southampton or something, but I think if they'd have been on terrible form, I think they'd be more inclined to rush him back. But they've picked up 4 points in the 2 games without him, so that would tell me that, well, we don't necessarily need to rush him back because we're still picking up some points here without him. So I think they'll probably let him miss the Brighton game, but because they've got a double game week, Newcastle, I'm hoping he might get fit and he can play both games. Then I've got my bench, McGovern in nets, not going to play. Williams from Norwich, they're at home at Brentford, and then Weghorst and Cornet as the other 2 as the Burnley lads. They're playing Chelsea at home. I'm not fancying them to do much there against Chelsea, but I could bring in Weghorst maybe for Gordon of Everton. That might be an option, because Burnley will lump it up there and he'll make it a lot more difficult for the Chelsea defenders than what they used to. So that could be an option to come in potentially and change my team slightly.
Yeah, sounds good, mate. Sounds really good. Your team does look pretty dangerous this week. I'm not going to lie, and I think that you've
things
kind
go
of
well. Yeah, it could be curtains. Yeah,
I think it could be a tough week for me, but I think that recent results have kept me excited because teams like Wolves have not been as good as we thought they were going to be. Norwich, obviously, and Burnley have let you down. To have triple Wolves defence, it's putting a lot of eggs in those baskets, mate. So I'm pretty surprised you haven't gone for Jimenez or something, or Ruben Neves or something, mate. You know, it's just, it seems a bit kind of predictable. And ultimately, if those clean sheets go, and obviously Wolves are having a bit of a confidence issue, then that might just be 4 points for each player, mate. That's not that many.
It might be, I'm not going to change my mind, so stop trying. Okay. If they keep one of clean sheet out of those 2 games, that's pretty much 18 points straight away from that one game for those 3. So, it is a little bit of putting the eggs in basket. But then I've still got Cancelo, Trent, Salah, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Sam Maximin maybe. I'm still got enough players who can score decent points for me. So, yeah, fingers crossed.
I'm gonna respect you, and I'm gonna move on, because otherwise I could have gone into each individual player then and told you exactly why I wouldn't have my team. We obviously digress, and the idea that State had regarding, well, we both did see that the Masters is back. So if you are probably, if you're a little bit younger than us, so if you're in your 20s or younger, early 20s or younger, you probably don't know too much about Masters football. So Masters football was something that was around in the, I'd say, 90s on Sky Sports. It was basically 5-a-side football for every, English and Scottish team. I think they did internationals as well. And they basically picked players who were competitive. And so you would have your Manchester United versus Liverpool's, and you'd see your Ian Rushes and your Kenny Dalglish's and your Brian Robsons. And, the fact is that they brought back all the old players, and it was good fun. There was some fantastic skills, and it wasn't always the best team that won it either. The ones with the bigger names, it was quite often that there would be a group of players. Like if you say take someone like Kevin Phillips, I think he might have played Masters football, and he was 39 or 40 or something, and he was still playing proper football anyway. So there are still players playing at a decent level that can play in this Masters football. But Stay had a great idea to post it on social media and ask people if they could do Masters football right now for their supported team, who would be in their team. And we had some great responses. So Stay, do you want to give us some of those responses from the Twitter community?
Yeah, no, definitely. I'll start with your response. To be fair, Watford fan, something different there. So I really appreciate people coming in with their sort of their picks, and I think some of them are quite good. We haven't got all your standard ones in terms of everyone just coming in with Man United, Liverpool, City. I mean, we have got some of those, but we've also got some teams away from that. So it was just a good idea. Look at me saying it was a good idea, but what I mean is just something I want to talk about because I enjoy watching it. So so Heath with the Watford FC, Tony Cotton or Curtin in net or Cotton. I don't know who says
Tony,
it which way.
Tony Coton.
Tony Curtin in goal. He's going one defender in Tommy Mooney, and he's going midfield Ashley Young, John Barnes, and up front Sir Luther Blissett. Now, I mean, Heath is obviously not quite thinking with Luther and Barnes in maybe with lads who've got any of the legs at the moment, but they'll still have the quality, I would imagine. So, I like your team, Heath. I like the superstars in Barnsley and Blissett. It's good.
Just want to back it up by the fact that obviously Barnsley's put on a bit of weight. So I think Ashley Young would cover for him because he's still playing professional football at the moment. I thought that would kind of cover me there. Also, the fact is that Masters, normally the players are retired, but the fact is at State, when he posted to us, he said that they had to be over 35 and not playing for your club anymore. So I went with Ashley Young because he is over 35 and he's not playing for Watford anymore. And Tommy Mooney is actually, I know you're thinking to it, all of you screaming at us at the moment saying Tommy Mooney, but he was a striker, wasn't he? Scored goals. Yeah, but he started as a defender. And I want him in my team because he can defend, he can score goals. He's a lad. He's a good lad. Still does the commentary for Watford, and he just sounds like a good guy. So I think he would be pretty commanding, and I'd quite fancy him to take his chances from deep.
Yeah, no. Fair enough.
I sound like I defended myself there, as if.
Yeah, you did a little bit, to be honest with you.
They're fucking good players, guys. Well, before you go into everyone else's, mate, what was yours? Did you have one?
So, Rotherham United, yeah. Bit more difficult for Rotherham United, to be fair, but I wanted to make sure I picked players who played a good amount of games for us. In goal, I had a couple of options, but I went for Mike Pollitt in net, who went on to then play at Wigan. He's actually a coach now. Mike Pollitt, great goalkeeper, really good, and then played in Premier League with Wigan. Then Chris Wilder, Middlesbrough manager at the moment. Chrissy Wilder was a quality fullback for us and then he went on to play at other clubs and probably not as people might not have known him as much, but Chrissy Wilder, I still think he'd be pretty useful. I think he'll still have a bit about him. He'll definitely not be someone who'll shy away from a tackle in there, that's for sure. So he'd be one. Another guy who went into management as well more recently, but he was a Rotherham legend, is Paul Hurst. Absolute legend is Paul Hurst for Rotherham United in terms of a player. He's manager at Grimsby Town in the National League now, but he were at Rotherham from like from a youth age. He played like over 400 games for us. He was an absolute legend, that's for sure. 5'7" left back. Greatest moment about Paul Hurst was when we played against Burnley, who had a Chrissy Waddle playing for them, coming towards the end of his career. And Hursty just didn't let him have a kick all game, and it was brilliant, But yeah, great lad with Paul Hurst, and yeah, he was ferocious. Little Rottweiler, he'd snap at your ankles, and you wouldn't get a moment's peace from him, that's for sure. Then the cultured footballer. So I've played like two sort of more defensive players there with them too. The cultured footballer, a guy called Steve Thompson who played for us. Now, Steve Thompson's best moment, he actually scored when Leicester played Swindon in the playoff final, which ended up I think 4-3 to Swindon in the end. But Leicester came back to equalise. I think they were like 3-0 down or brought it back to 3-3, and then Swindon won in extra time. But Steve Thompson scored the equaliser, and it was a belting moment. But he was a really good footballer, so he's the cultured footballer. Then, to be fair, Heath, I'm a bit torn here with my strikers. So I've got Sean Goater, the legend that is the GOAT.
Of course.
The GOAT is, awesome. I mean, I'd probably have Goater in my, he's going to be, if I'm going to claim a sub here, which is a bit naughty against the rules, but I'm going to claim Goater as my sub. And my main starting striker is Adam Lafondra, Alfie.
Disgusting.
That lad knows where the back of the net is, and he would bang the goals in. And he's still probably quite switched on and that. So yeah, Adam Lafondra will go from for me. So that'd be my team. I'm happy with that team. I'm very happy with that team. So that was that team. In terms of other teams, now we've got a few from Huddersfield Town, a couple of Man United teams, some Liverpool as well. But I'm gonna start off with a Blackburn team that somebody posted. A lad called Ben. I won't give away his surname because I don't wanna oust him to people if they disagree with him. But Ben, Blackburn fan, and he's gone for Brad Fiedel in net, good keeper. Samba, centre half. Then he gets sexy. Morton, Gamps, Pedersen, and two Guy. And then he's got the big Al up front, Shearer up top. I mean, that's a good team. I reckon two Guy and Gamps Pedersen would cause some damage for teams out there. So yeah, that's the Blackburn team. What do you think of the Blackburn team?
You got to be gutted if you're Jeff Kenner right now. I mean, how he hasn't made it into that team, I do not know.
He was
playing his best. He had played his best football at the Rovers.
Yeah, well, yeah, two Guy and Gamps Pedersen. They're two quality players, aren't they? Yeah, that's you're going to see some spectacular goals from them too. That's for sure. At our Shirtliff, so he's a Huddersfield Town fan. So he's put Nico Vasson in goals, Effie Soji at centre half, Schofield and Worthington in midfield, and Powell Abbott up top. He did originally put a lad called Dunn in the team, but then he updated due to Dunn being old. Poor Dunn. Yeah. But yeah, that was one team. Another Huddersfield team from Johnny L at the Law 1990. Ian Bennett, Tom Clark, Danny Schofield, Gary Roberts, and Powell Abbott. So, and then he changed Abbott to John Stead instead, actually. John Stead instead. Brilliant. Awesome. Can't beat that. So yeah, good Huddersfield, couple of Huddersfield teams there, and they've got both sort of mentioned Schofield and Abbott as well. Then we get on to some of the glory hunters. So FPL newbie at FPL _ newbie _ he has gone for United teams. So he's gone Van der Sar in net, Rio Ferdinand, Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, Ruben Nistelrooy. Yeah, that's not a bad team.
It's okay, but I don't know if it would beat that Huddersfield or Rotherham team.
Definitely wouldn't be the Rotherham team. We don't. Then at GR Charlesworth, a lad I know, Man United fan as well. He's gone Schmeichel in net, Rio Ferdinand, Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, and he's gone for Rooney up top. Then my mate Johnny Pickles.
What a name, by the way.
Yeah, he's a good lad, is Pickles. He's on his way to Hawaii on his honeymoon right now.
Good luck to you, Johnny.
He's missing out on our second team cup quarter final this Saturday for it though. So
fuck off,
he's obviously,
Johnny.
I know, yeah, he's obviously demonstrated where his priorities are, and he listens to this podcast, so he's going to hear all of this. By the way, he's going to hear it all. So don't you worry. Well, he's actually gone for a full squad here, and he's actually listed tournament winners at the bottom of it. So he's got Dudek in net, then he's got Agger, Carragher, Gerrard, Alonso, Mascherano, Garcia, Torres, and Maxi Rodriguez. So basically, the squad that won him some Champions League in the mid 2000s. He's got pretty much all of them in, but added Fernando Torres in there as well. So he's gone for a big squad there, which I think they do have a big squads actually. To be fair, so he's done.
So not only has he let you guys down, but he's also got very greedy on this feature. Unbelievable,
Well,
and he's off to Hawaii. Unbelievable.
Yeah, there you go. And then we've got another Liverpool lad, a lad I play football with as well, at Martin Caldwell. He's gone Dudek, Agger, Reese, Gerrard, Alonso, and Torres. So he's done a 6. So he's got a sub there. But yeah, again, good squad. And then a good one here. Our man, Mr. Halliwell from the pie chart at FPL, now then young man. He has gone for a Notts Forest side. Peter Shilton. I mean, Shilton surely can't get out of bed much anymore. He must be old, but still, great shout. Stuart Pearce, Des Walker. I mean, that's the defensive lineup you're not going to want to mess with. Then he's got Nigel Clough and Stan Collymore. Nigel Clough, I reckon, would be a top 5-a-side player. I reckon. And just,
both-footed, right? Yeah, it's a good player. Yeah, very good player. I've actually realised, as you've been talking, that I probably should sub Tony Coton out and bring in David James. I think that might not be a bad replacement.
Yeah.
Poor old Tony. I think he'd be a bit out of his depth.
Maybe. I think, yeah. They say it's not a young man's game, but for a goalkeeper, trust me, it is. Because these guys are absolutely hitting the ball at them, so they need the reactions, or they need to be able to fill the goal.
I'm also thinking about replacing. Forgive me, Watford fans, Sir Luther Blissett with Kevin Phillips, because I was looking at it more from like what you said was over 35. For me, it felt like your best ever football team, but it sounds like you want them to be competitive now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I reckon my team would be a laugh. They would have a real good time, but that's not. I want to win.
Well, that's it. People put in teams that they want to win it because
I take it back. It back. No, I want Luther in there. I'm sure he's still sharp.
When you watch the Masters, let's be honest. They all take it seriously. They don't mess around. There's some meaty tackles. There's a little bit of there's always a little bit of handbags. Some feisty games in there. So it's it gets interesting. And I'm looking forward to watching it on the telly because they do generally show it on the telly. I won't mind going one day to one of the days and watching some of the games because they keep the ball well still with these players. That's for sure. They're good at that. But yeah, I look forward to the Masters and hopefully yeah, and might be a bit interesting. And those who didn't send a team in, now that you've maybe heard that and you want to send a team in, Heath will provide you with our Twitter handles, and you can still send us a team. We will shout out for you in the next one if anyone additional wants to do that. And thank you for doing that. But there you go, Pickles. Enjoy your honeymoon. Sorry about Heathy. He said good man, and then he dropped you just like that. Dropped you just
Sorry,
like
buddy.
like
Sorry,
no
mate.
tomorrow. I mean, but don't worry.
I really don't think that will be high on his agenda as he's enjoying his cocktails.
I guarantee I'll be getting a message about that pretty instantly after his listen to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I have to, when I come back up north, I have to buy him a drink to apologize. But yeah, I'd like to say I don't have too much sympathy for him, given where he's on his way to. But yeah, we love the feature, mate. I do think that's a bit northern heavy at the moment. I don't think I've really pulled my weight there. So I do think I'll have to. I think we'll have to bring that Masters football feature back next week, and I'll have some southern teams for you guys.
Definitely.
Because that was poor from my side.
You didn't even retweet it. I mean, what the fuck?
But yeah, no, great stuff, mate. And I like you say, I can't wait for it to. I think Watford actually won one of the Masters, so after that, I was quite excited about watching it. And then I realised it wasn't always the bigger team that actually won it, because they used to do it by region, which is one of the things about something we have in common. But
yeah,
guys, I'm not going to lie, it's late, and we could be talking all night. But it's probably best we don't, because we probably will just go on. So first of all, I'd like to thank everyone who's listened. Wish you all a good luck for the game week ahead. There's obviously some doubles in there. I hope you get exactly what you're looking for, and you get the points. You make transfer. I know Burnley let us all down this week. I say let us all down. I wasn't obviously a part of that, thank God. But yeah, if you want to get in contact with us, if you're looking for the tweet from State, his Twitter handle is at FPL_Northerner. Then if you're looking for the podcast Twitter handle, that's at FPLNVS. And then if you want to get in contact with me to give me some stick, or just praise me, for great entertainment, at FPL Southerner. There's no underscore there anymore, which is a shame.
Enjoy game weeks, everyone. Think about your transfers if you're gonna make them. A lot of people talking about free hits and stuff, but yeah, do what you think's right. At the end of the day, and and then berate about it when it's gone fucked up and it's your own fault.
Exactly. And on that fine note, we say goodbye. Thank you, guys. Take care.